Time the fuck out. I didn't even get started on what I was going to say. Yeah.
Bro, that movie was crazy.
Crazy, Francie. Yeah.
I was like, well, what are specials tonight? Yes.
That sounds good.
Problem.
I'll have that.
Hey, everybody. Specialists in Nothing. Back at you again. Talking about everything, specializing in nothing. My name is Frank. And Danny, you want to say what's up?
What's up? What's going on?
Joe is not with us tonight. He has got COVID. He is finally the last one of us to catch COVID. And he's got it pretty bad. He has like 101 fever, so he wasn't feeling too good tonight. So
we're not a full tripod tonight.
Yeah, we're two legs of the tripod, but we're gonna fill in for him, and we're going on some Antarctica stuff while he's not here.
We're gonna talk about some shit that Joe can't interrupt us about.
Although I do have some like rebuttal-ish stuff on it, because like, so one of the first things that I was gonna say, yeah, like, because one of the first things I was gonna say is like we've talked about it briefly and stuff and other Illuminati stuff and it's not, and so you know how Joe always say when we talk about Illuminati, he'll be like, out of all the people, you don't think there's anyone that's come out or this, there's no one. So out of all the pilots and stuff that are like around us now, like none of them, like, out of all the people that fly planes and stuff like that, none of them else have seen this or reported this or said like anything about this like ice wall with this like private island on it.
What are you talking about?
Because didn't you say the theory was that like in the flat earth theory, not
that
you believed it, you said I don't believe this, but there are theories that it's like an ice wall around like a continent that we don't go on because not because we can't, but because they tell us we can't, and really all that stuff. So I mean, pilot would see anything like that.
Hold on. Yeah, I'm sure so. But listen.
Well, yeah, re-explain the theory first, because some people might have not heard that episode and stuff either.
All right, so the people who claim the earth is flat think that there is supposedly 150-foot tall ice wall that is surrounding Antarctica, or surrounds the flat earth, and Antarctica is that thing. So it's like spread out more than it is just like a continent, which is a little awkward to describe if you're not looking at a map of quote unquote flat earth, because the way it is, like, picture Antarctica being on top, right? And instead of it being a continent on top, it's just spread out throughout the world around North America, South America, Europe.
You're talking about like if you were looking at it from the top.
Right, if you're looking at it from an aerial view and it was flat, Antarctica wouldn't be a continent up top. It would be a wall that surrounds. Yeah. That surrounds all the other continents. Yeah. And supposedly,
well, technically, wouldn't Antarctica be in the center then with the wall around it, and then the other continents would be around that?
Well, I was going to say these continents that we know of, Europe, Antarctica, North America, South America, Australia, all of them are inside of this wall. And apparently in, I guess, like early 1300s, 1400s, when they were
so we're trapped inside
map,
the wall.
We're inside the wall, and there are continents outside the wall.
And they just call it Antarctica, but we don't know how much of it is out there. It could be more, it could be whatever.
Man, it sounds ridiculous when you really think about it. It's like, how the fuck is it possible that like no one's really been around the world, or maybe people have been around the world? But
well, that's what I'm saying, because there's certain like average Joes that can get a pilot's license and just fly wherever they want.
Right, but how far are you gonna, like, in a 1 or 2 man piloted plane? How far are you gonna get over the ocean? Let's just say you keep fucking going.
Now, maybe not in North America because we're not as close as some other countries, but what if like you were in another country that was closer to it and you didn't have to travel as far? That's what I'm saying. Like nobody would say
no, I mean, I guess so, but you're not allowed in Antarctica unless you're a government official from a bunch of different nations. There's a U.S. nation treaty between, I don't know how many of them
so like if any old average Joe just wanted to say like, oh, I want to go move to Antarctica now or go on a vacation on Antarctica.
First of all, you can't even live in Antarctica. It's uninhabitable.
That's what they say.
Correct. Yes. I mean, I've never
we don't really know. I would say nobody really knows. We're just taking their word on that one.
A buddy of mine, Selassie, who I used to work with, he is very much into this flat earth Antarctica stuff. I really wish that I would have gave him a heads up on this. We could have brought him on and talked to him about it for a little bit. But he's got
I don't know anybody believes in that, so I didn't
he's
think
got
about
a
it.
gang of shit he can talk about.
Mhm.
But anyways, he sent me a document which is like 26 pages about, and I read most of it. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't read the whole thing. It was extensive and it was a fucking document about Antarctica. And it states that no unauthorized officials are allowed past a certain mark, I guess, in Antarctica because of government researchers. You're not allowed to test for nuclear or any type of scientific experimental stuff there without the consent of the other countries who agreed to this treaty. That being said, I do feel like Antarctica is a place where you could go and hide for scientific experiments. And I do believe, but I feel that in World War II, um, Hitler was using Antarctica to build bunkers underground, and he was trying to reverse engineer anti-gravity flying saucers or whatever the fuck.
Say that again.
In World War II, Hitler there was Nazis in Antarctica that were trying to reverse engineer flying objects. I don't want to say
What do you
UFOs,
mean reverse engineer?
like trying
Like
to
take them apart to figure out how they worked?
taking them apart or working backwards to rebuild for the most part.
I got you. So something that they didn't know how it worked, taking it apart to try and figure it out.
Right. And this is all rumor. I don't know if it's true or not because I haven't read anything on it, but I do think that that's what I mean. What else would you be doing if you're trying to win a war? You're gonna try to figure out new strategies and shit to beat your opponent at something.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know. There was a whole bunch of rumors and speculation about that.
Huh.
On a side note, what I was saying is what I do believe in is I 100% think that there has to be some type of alien craft there for some reason or another, because
that's why they won't let people there.
That's why they won't.
There could be something that landed in the ice that they can't get out.
And I think it's like, or maybe like, I believe that it's there. To what extent, Frank, I'm really not sure. You know, I like to believe some.
Well, imagine
shit,
if it was like, okay, so think of like Star Wars in a sense for a second, right?
Huge base.
Well, no, we'll think of like Star Wars for a second, like how there was like different size ships, like there's like starfighters and there was like galactic ships and like this and that. So imagine if it was like a ship that was like a bigger ship, not something that was like smaller that could only carry a couple people, but it was like a bigger ship, and it happened to like crash land there and then got stuck and frozen in the ice, and it was so big that they couldn't move it or whatever, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And that's why they said, oh, this is inhabitable, blah, blah, blah. It's not like you can't come here. What if it was something like that? And that really was like, I don't know.
Listen, it would be pretty fucking interesting. And of all places, why the fuck not? You know, no one's allowed to go there. I've seen rumors about like caves. I mean, listen, you go anywhere, you go to the Grand Canyon, and they're gonna have caves that lead into other places of the fucking mountains or whatever. They're just caves, you know. Yeah. But who knows? Maybe there's ice caves. Maybe you could go down under the ice and you could find a whole fucking something. I don't know. I don't want to say like civilization or whatever, but it could be tunnels. Who the fuck
That's
knows?
the whole crazy part is that like we don't know. Nobody
don't know.
Like you like because not even to say like no one knows, because we know like there are very few people that go there, but exactly, they're all like cleared, classified, or whatever it is. So it's like at the end of the day, none of us really know any of the stuff that's been told about anything there is true, because there is no other regular people that have ever reported anything or that we know of, or you know what I mean?
There's no proof of nothing. So I don't know. As a matter of fact, though, I did just check this out. I Googled something and hold on. So entrances to underground bases. In 2013, enthusiasts discovered 2 clear, strange holes in Antarctica, similar to the entrances in caves. These holes, quote unquote, were hard to call failures on the map since they look very natural, but according to ufologists, this can either be an entrance or an exit to an underground base or Nazi base that I mentioned before if they were building, something like that. So like they look like natural caves, but to them it could be an entrance or an exit of some shit like this. I don't know.
Yo, do you know it says it's actually one of the driest places on Earth?
Driest places on Earth. That I could see.
The dry valleys in Antarctica are the driest places on Earth, with such low humidity and moisture at this portion of the continent. Even snow and ice cannot accumulate, which leaves the valleys just a dusty expanse of dirt. So it's so cold out there, but it's also so dry that there actually are parts of it that don't even have ice.
Yeah, I wonder what the fuck it is then. Is it dirt?
Sand, dirt. It says it's just a dusty expanse of dirt.
Shit.
That's crazy.
That is pretty cool.
Antarctica's geography and climate means it gets a special kind of wind called catabatics. These winds are formed when air moves down a slope. In Antarctica, the mountain range paired against large flat expanses makes for a dramatic wind combination. Some of the highest wind speeds in history have been on record on the southern continent. In fact, scientists exploring the southerly landmass have reported wind speeds that have reached up to 200 miles per hour. So
Holy
it's
shit.
crazy because, well, think about this though. The reason I read that is because it says about these winds are formed when it moves down a slope and the large flat expansive, like it could be this like ice wall thing that you're talking about that's like around it. Like, what if my thought is not that we were trapped inside the wall? What if Antarctica is technically in the center of the flat Earth and has the ice wall around it, and we are around the rest of the planet and just don't go there? And the reason we don't go there is because exactly when people are flying or this and that to that area of the planet, they say, no, we're not supposed to go there, or we know it's cold there, or we know it's not, or all the things that we've grown up knowing about it. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that, to be honest with you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because then it makes more sense. If they're in the center, they have the most access to everything. They're the closest to getting everywhere. Like, but see, to me, like with globes and like with all the stuff, like I just don't believe in the flat Earth thing. Still, I
just
still
sent
think
you a
that
picture.
Antarctica, though, in the sense, could be at the bottom of the globe and still be this.
Okay, so
That's
I just
what I
sent
think.
you.
I don't think it has to be a flat Earth thing to think that this
It could
conspiracy
still
theory
be a
on
globe.
Antarctica, like it could still be a sphere and a globe and not be flat, and Antarctica could still be on the bottom like we think of on the globe and not be the flat Earth thing, and this could still be a conspiracy theory. You know what I'm saying? So you could be wrong about it being flat Earth, but still be right about this theory is my thing on it. Because I personally don't believe in the flat Earth, but I do kind of think that this could be a thing.
So I just sent you a picture, and I'm going to read what I found about it. It says that there's a strange theory that Antarctica and the South Pole in general do not exist. It is spread by fans and flat Earth theorists that, according to their version, the North Pole is the center of the Earth plate, and the South Pole is the land that is its rim around it. Not just a rim, but according to the landowners, Antarctica is an ice wall over 60 meters high, which protects people and animals from falling over the edge of the Earth. So you don't just sail off of it, you know, because the government forbids flying to the South Pole. They also claim that a captain, whose name I can't pronounce, allegedly swam up to this wall, saw it with his own eyes, and the wall covered the entire horizon line. When I said swam, he means took his boat, not actually swim in the fucking freezing cold oceans. So I don't know, but it's interesting to think about. And to describe it is, like I said, it's got all the continents in the middle of it. On the right side is Antarctica, a full ice wall, and on the bottom is another wall, but it's more so, I guess, I don't know.
I mean, not on the bottom, on the left side.
Right, on the left side.
Because the way where the picture that you sent, it is an aerial view, but from like an angle, like it's not directly above the top. So when you say right and left, it kind of, it is
makes more sense than all around. But I don't know. I mean, I'm personally not a flat Earth theory believer. I think it would be pretty fucking awesome. But you just got to think about it like this, though. No regular person, and besides the whole hoax moon landing and people going to outer space and Photoshop and NASA, whatever.
People going to outer space?
Out from outer space. Like, no one that we know has been that high up, except for the guy who jumped out of the thing, the fucking Red Bull jump guy. Remember that a little while ago?
No. I was about to say, what?
Hold on, I'll think about it right now. Red Bull jumper. The guy took a fucking. Here we go. Give me 1 second. Red Bull sponsored Sarah Hendrickson. Nope, that's not it.
I was gonna say.
No, that's not it. She was a Red Bull sponsor. Whatever. The guy took some type of a fucking, how do I explain it?
Whatever, just tell me the story that you remember. It doesn't
It's
have to be
really just
factual.
all right. Let's just call it a Red Bull sponsored astronaut flew up into the sky, but not past the Earth's atmosphere, and jumped out of the fucking thing and landed back onto Earth. Like,
With a parachute?
yeah, like free falling.
So skydived like higher than we would normally go.
Exactly.
Okay. And what happened?
Space jump. And that's it. It just, the Earth looked round, but it looked too round when it was out of his camera. You'll see what I'm saying when I say
too
this
round.
Too. Like, if you think about how wide the Earth is compared to one person, you would still see flat like this until curvature. This one looked like it was curving right behind this motherfucker.
Yeah, sometimes because it's not, it could be flat. Exactly.
Right. But what I'm saying is, if you're one person against like the world, if you're not going to see a curvature so clearly if you're that high up, because the Earth is huge and you're one person. I'm not making sense. I'm making sense, but I'm not explaining myself too well.
I don't think you're making sense. I think that this from him looks exactly like what we would expect the Earth to look like at that point. I do. Okay. I do think that because with gravity, when we're on there, because of how big it is, you would never tell. But when he's that far out, that many miles up or whatever, right, that many feet up, or whatever you want to call it, yeah, I think you would be able to tell. You would, because depending on how, like from this view of the picture that you're making me see, it looks like he could see a whole continent. And like if you're that high up and you could see a whole continent, like yeah, you should be able to see the fucking curve.
Now time out. And I feel bad for the people listening because they can't
I don't think it looks
what I'm showing you.
I mean, if they go on YouTube, I'll put the picture up. I can put the picture up over us, so I'll do that.
I sent you 2 pictures from the same angle, and one picture looks like the
flatter.
Earth is, yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Do you see what I mean?
That's the same. Really? That's the same thing? That's just same those thing. Cameras on the. Oh, I see. So
you get what I'm saying?
The one picture is the cameras that are on the arm on the bracket. And then the other picture is from something else, and it's taking a picture of him or her or whatever from more of a horizontal angle. But that's why, because the camera is more of a horizontal angle. But yeah, I get what you're saying. So if that's the case, it's more of a horizontal angle and it's going on for that far. I mean, I guess it depends on the part of the Earth that they were at. So like, think about it like this.
Regardless, bro, it's going to be curving the entire way.
Yes, but not necessarily, because depending on like if they were directly center at like the, what's that line called in the middle?
The equator.
What's
that line called in the middle? There's no line.
If they were out there, like right at the equator and like at the center of the, I guess because at any point you would be at the center. Yeah, I guess I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I mean, but we all know from taking camera angles from selfies. Think about a girl, like it's all about the angles. Like they take it up higher, you look better, you look skinnier, you look like whatever. You take it lower, you look fatter, and or whatever it is, you look worse. So it's the same thing. Like it just looks wider because of the angle. The other one was pointed straight down almost, so you could see more of everything. I think that was really it. It could also be the zoom. There could be a lot of different reasons.
It could be a fisheye lens.
Don't think about the Earth as flat. I just don't.
I don't believe it's flat either. I mean,
I know.
Think about it like this.
I do like the
Earth is the only
flat
one in our entire galaxy, and everything else is round.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but wait. I'm sorry to bring back to my point. That's the only motherfucker that was actually up there in Earth besides the astronauts and NASA. So that's the only person who could really tell.
Yeah,
you know,
because obviously if they're in NASA or whatever, they could sign whatever things
paid off.
Say. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm just saying, it looks crazy.
No, it does. But I do like the Antarctica theory, like the theory of like, even if it was at the bottom of the globe and it was where we think of it on the globe and it wasn't a flat Earth, that it could be surrounded by ice walls and nobody else would go in it or blah, 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 blah. And there could be a spaceship there or a fucking,
that would be cool,
whatever, some kind of research or government, whatever, secrets or just whatever it is. Like, I don't necessarily think that we're just not there because it's so cold, because
no, there's definitely reasons why we're not allowed there.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Absolutely not. I do have a couple other things I wanted to say that based on what I was bringing up before, like imagine there was a spaceship or whatever. It says at the end of 2018, enthusiasts studied Google Earth maps. They discovered a strange object in Antarctica region, which, if from somewhere fell, left behind a very large rut. So it's like an emergency landing for a UFO. The version with the crash of UFO proposed. The trail from the object began at the top of the mountain, and according to theorists, UFO touched the mountain, fell down, rolling down the ice, and slid down the mountain and was frozen there. It's on Google Maps, I think it says, but it's been blurred out since 2018. So why would, I don't know, why would you blur it out? Which
so wait, sorry, it does say that it's not illegal to go to Antarctica.
No, it's not illegal, but there's only a certain amount of, like, you can't go into.
It's just Antarctica. A matter of getting someone to go there, because there's no population, so there's no country owns the continent. There's no border control, there's no immigration officer, no nothing. So there's no, like, anyone can visit the continent, but it's really at your own risk. Like, because exactly, are you going to be able to make it back? There's exactly. But one of the things that I read before, hold on, it says abundant resources. The continent as a whole contains about 90% of the planet's freshwater ice and around 70% of total freshwater on Earth. Scientists claim that if the West Arctic ice sheet were to melt, it would raise global sea levels by about 16 feet. Okay, so I'm sorry. I saw abundant resources and I was going to say, oh my God, but there has to be resources there, but it's really just water. But that's crazy to think about. So if any of the ice actually broke off, like in the sense of like a Pangea type of thing.
Pangea? What do you mean?
Pangea was the original, like when the Earth first started, they say like that was the one continent before the continents like broke apart. And
okay.
The continents, it was called Pangea. That was
when like the turtle crawled out of the ocean with the Earth on its back. Gotcha.
But that's what they say. So, but now think about it.
I do.
If you're someone that thinks about those things,
well, that's a crazy theory too.
Well, because the Earth was technically one continent. They say when like dinosaurs were here, this that the Big Bang happened and came, and then the continents broke apart and like kind of spread out through the ocean.
Started the universe. So you're saying the meteor, the asteroid that killed them, not?
The asteroid. I'm sorry, I thought the Big Bang was what killed the dinosaurs. But okay, so yeah, whatever killed the dinosaurs, that bang. That bang is what caused like certain things like that and other things over time, through the thousands and millions of years or whatever it is.
65 million years.
Yeah, or okay. Well, I thought it was like thousands of millions. That's why I said thousands of million. But okay, so 65 million years or whatever it was, that's what happened to Earth over time. That's like a theory. So if you go off that theory and you go off of like global warming lately, like how we say like in the Christmas episode, fucking still haven't had snow. It's after New Year's and it's fucking raining and it's 60 degrees outside and I'm wearing no jacket, but you know what I mean? So now if you think of that stuff and the Earth is getting warmer. Okay, so the continent separated. Melts. The continent separated. Mother Nature always corrects herself, right? So now the Earth is getting too warm. A piece of the ice breaks off, starts melting in the ocean, cools things down, raises sea level 16 feet. We lose more land. But now things correct and like the weather corrects itself and Mother Nature takes her course. It's not an unfathomable theory. I still said that wrong the second time.
2 strikes, you're out.
Unfathomable. There you
go. It's not an unfathomable theory.
Show off.
I think that would be pretty fucking cool, though. Not cool in a sense of like, wow, that's dope, but cool like, holy shit, I can't believe that actually happened.
Well, because think about that. Any oceanfront properties would be underwater. 16 feet. I mean, they wouldn't be underwater completely, but like
it's not even
like if you had a beachfront property and the water raises 16 feet on you, your house is going to be in the water.
You can't even think about it as just like from 0 feet to 16 feet, though, because you got to encounter for waves, hurricanes, tsunamis, all this other shit. That's what I'm saying,
because if the whole water rises 16 feet, that means it's going to spread outward too.
Exactly. And the butterfly effect, if it happens in fucking Tokyo, it's going to happen in California. Mm-hmm. It's fucking crazy. What I meant to say before, though, is that I believe this is not proven, but I've seen it on the Google Maps a little while ago. And there are 3, they look like pyramids in Antarctica that align with Orion's belt, the same pyramids of Giza that are in Egypt that align with Orion's belt. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there are 3 pyramids in Asia. I have to look that up, but I'm pretty sure those 3 pyramids are also align with Orion's belt. So every time we have a winter solstice, shit like that happens, and it aligns with it, and that would be very interesting if it happened with Antarctica.
Wow. All right. So wait, hang on, because as you're saying that, I'm listening to you, but I'm still reading other things too. And one of the things that I just came across was, why can't planes fly over Antarctica? So this answers my first question when we started the episode. Like, if there was no pilot, there's not anybody, like, blah, blah.
Right.
So planes don't fly over Antarctica because the white continent does not have much in the way of infrastructure. And herein lies, I don't know what that means, why planes do not fly over it. Something called ETOPS, Extended Operations, governs how far from an emergency diversion airport a certain aircraft is allowed to fly. Okay, so because there's no towers for like airplanes or this and that out there that are like to public use, airplanes are only allowed to fly so far away from certain control towers, from certain countries, from certain whatever.
Okay,
so if they
that
go
would make
there,
sense.
they're going too far to like whatever. But again, that's the government limiting us on how
Right.
far you can go, because they're telling you if you get to this far, you have to turn back.
You shall not pass.
I keep picturing this ice wall like the Game of Thrones wall. Is that just me, or like?
No, I mean that could be. I've never been a Game of Thrones person, as you know.
Really, you never watched Game of Thrones?
Bro, you tell me this all the time. I tell you this.
I don't think I've ever had this conversation with you.
Yeah,
I don't remember this conversation.
Absolutely,
dude.
Because when the season finale was coming, I mean the series finale, you were like, "You want to come over?" I was like, "Yeah," but I don't fucking know anything about it.
That was a while ago, so I wouldn't remember that now. But okay, so. But see, I was one that like didn't watch it for the longest time. So like I caught up to it like right when the last season was playing, the last few episodes. I had watched the whole show in like a week right before it ended, and then watched the last season or the last episode live when it came out. And
really,
that show I stood off for so many years, so many seasons, not watching it on purpose, just like as a stubborn, like, nah, I'm not watching it. I'm not into it. No. When I finally gave in and watched it, Danny, it's like one of my top 10 favorite shows.
Is it really that fucking good though?
It was so good. It really was. And I have to say this, it's HBO. HBO doesn't put out a bad show. I've never watched a bad like long series that's been on HBO that was terrible, I have to say. But to get back into it, the other thing
that would be really cool if they did a fucking show on Antarctica, even a documentary.
They couldn't, because that people can't go there. So that's what I say. So it says, why can't humans live there? Why are people not able to live in Antarctica? It's cold. it only gets above freezing in some portions of the coast for about 10 to 20 days the entire year. Really? So it's only above 32 degrees for 10 to 20 days in the entire year. But here's my thing isn't it the same thing as like Alaska? Isn't Alaska like freezing like almost all year?
Yes, but Alaska is habitable. I don't know
if it's temperature. I don't get that. I don't get that. So if you're telling me the only reasons that Antarctica is not habitable compared to Alaska, because it's freezing there also all the time, right? I have to look that up to double check in a second, or if you could fact check that for me.
What do you want me to fact check for you?
How cold is it in Atlanta, or how often is it above freezing in Alaska? Like, how cold is it regularly? Because if it's cold there all the time too, or just as much, or it's always like, freezing or cold or whatever, how come people could live there and not in Antarctica? The only other reason is because there's no towers and this and that. There's no government. So why didn't we build a government there? Why? Because they're hiding something there? Like, why else will we not have resources there?
Right. Well, I guess
civilization. Why would we not have civilization built there
if
it is the same conditions of Alaska?
Winter temperatures regularly fall below -76 degrees Fahrenheit. The weather in the summer is only up to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So I guess because it's drastically cold, that it's not.
So in the summer it gets up to 50 though. So that's not bad, because 50 means it's not snowing in the summer in Alaska. This is saying that only 10 to 20 days are above 32 degrees in Antarctica.
Right. Well,
so that's why. That's really why, because you would literally be living in fucking Iceland forever.
Right.
24/7 every day you'd be living in
I apologize.
And if it's only 10 to 20 days, that means you're talking about 300 something other days where you have to stay inside, because if it's below freezing, you can only go out for a certain amount of time. You
Right.
have
So
to stay
my
inside.
mistake. I read that incorrectly. The highest temperature recorded was 50 degrees. On an average, it's 14 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's so on average, it's 14 degrees in the summer in Alaska.
Right. And it says that summer temps reaching 50 degrees was the highest temperatures ever recorded
Okay, but so if it's normally regularly
in
14 degrees in the
2015.
summertime in Alaska, you're telling me that it's regularly cold there all the time. Why is there no resources in Antarctica? So it's not the cold. It's not the reason of the cold, because I don't know. That's just crazy to me.
What else would you do? Like, would you vacation there? Listen, bro, by all means,
I'm just saying some people would be cool with living in ice their whole life.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't mind.
We would just ruin another continent as humans. We can't just let that shit go, man.
So that's funny that you say that, because one of the things that says, why should you not go to Antarctica? Besides the large carbon footprint that comes along with traveling by ship to Antarctica, because you can't go there by plane because of the whole thing with the towers or whatever, there are other sources of pollution that ships produce that are harmful to Antarctica and its inhabitants. Antarctica, meaning animals. Antarctica cruises and expedition ships produce a lot of waste, food waste, carbon waste, sewage waste, blah, blah. So we would actually, it's so pristine because none of us have ever been there, us fat, sloppy fucking pollution fucks.
Right.
That if we go there by ship, we're automatically fucking up the ecosystem down in Antarctica, because the water is so pure and so crystal that as soon as the ship goes there, we are already polluting it. So that makes me not want to go there, just in the sense of exactly, it's the only place on the earth that is fucking still pristine, that we haven't fucked up by drilling or fucking throw garbage or whatever the fuck it is. It's nuts. It's nuts.
So there's something else that I want to talk to you about before, and I wanted to bring this up when we speak about Atlantis, but there is apparently another theory that is where Atlantis is, and it's frozen underneath Antarctica.
Oh, I like that theory. I love that theory, because that makes fucking sense why nobody can find it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why they're trying to keep us out, because they know that that's where that is. So Illuminati really gets all their power from.
There was a professor, Charles Helgood, who in the 1950s suggested that the ancient times developing civilization, Atlanteans, they existed on a territory of Antarctica. And he brought this thought from about like 12,000 years ago, when this shit was going on, and Antarctica was not covered with ice at the time. Then I guess it got covered with ice and it just froze over. And that's why maybe these caves in or out of Antarctica can possibly be having a civilization in there.
If it was a part of Pangea, and then when the second bang happened, we'll call it second bang.
The second bang.
When the second bang happened, and the continents all started splitting up, if that was the continent that went so far down the globe that it got so cold down there that it froze over as it went there, it is possible for it to be the lost frozen city of Atlantis.
Crazy, right?
Like, that's
How crazy is that?
That is a good theory. I wish Joe was here right now, because he'd be like, you guys
no way, bro.
What
no
way.
Oh, it's crazy. So let me ask you a question. Wow. If you were given the opportunity to spend a month in Antarctica, would you go?
Probably.
So you leave the wife and
one
kids.
Of the people that could say I did it, like, to come back and be like, yeah, I fucking did this. This is what's down there. This is what's whatever. Like, and not even that. Like, I'm down for any once in a lifetime thing. You know what I mean? If anyone called me tomorrow and gave me like a once in a lifetime opportunity, I would look at Karen and the kids and be like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. We have to consider this. Like, not saying like, oh, automatic yes, but you have to consider any once in a lifetime opportunity and weigh the fucking pros and cons in that moment of what's important to you. Because at the end of the day, you really do only live once.
This is true. So
you know what I mean? You're only going to get to have those chances one time sometimes.
What I'm thinking of is like...
Wait, I'm sorry. Hang on. Wait.
What?
Go back. Because I was like, you're only gonna get that opportunity one time sometimes. And it makes sense, kinda. But it made me think of it only works 60% of the time.
90% of the time it works. It's funny.
I'm sorry. What
No, you're good. You're good. This fucking guy.
I'm sorry.
I think it's funny that you bring that up, and I'm proud of you for that. Because 60% of the time it works every time. Frankly, it doesn't make sense, but hey, fuck it. So what I'm saying is something like this is like you see in these movies where it's like high government officials are like, do we need to call Frank? We better get Frank on the phone. And then like the next scene is like you're doing your thing with your family and like someone helicopters in and like, Frank, we need you to come with us. And then like you go discover some shit on Antarctica. You ever see the movie fucking Alien Covenant, I think, or Prometheus? No. I haven't seen it, but apparently they go to another planet, and that's where that's is not what it has nothing to do with Antarctica. So never mind. Forget what I'm talking about. I was just gonna say, like, imagine you had to go to Antarctica because they found a discovery of something, and then you found like Predator or some shit. I don't know.
Gotcha.
That's it.
That's funny.
I guess to kind of wrap this up, I don't know how true or not this is. I've been looking for this almost the entire time that we've been talking about Antarctica, but there are actual names of three islands in Antarctica. One of them is called Delta.
Yes, I heard this.
Omicron and Coronation Island. I've been looking for this. I can't fucking find it. I'm trying to fact check it here, but
did you see it? It was like an Instagram post or something like that, or it was a thing, right? Yeah, I saw that too. I saw that like a week or two ago, and I was like, holy fuck, get the fuck out of here. That's the names of the thing. So imagine if it is like in the conspiracy theory thing, and that's why the names are there.
There's so much shit that's going on. Like you don't know what to believe, what not to believe.
It's a subliminal fucking message, man. They named those things on purpose.
We're the fucking specialists of nothing, so I'm just throwing that out there. But we have fun with what we do, you know?
Yeah, man.
That's it.
I know we say this all the time, but we have yet to got one, and it's been almost a year. And I know we got regular listeners because I'm a stat guy, and like Danny will tell you, I check the analytics. Like I check them shits regularly, and we have never gotten someone to give us a topic. So I love
to hear that shit.
I know we have regular listeners that listen to us every week and follow us and really listen to us. Please, Instagram page, YouTube page, write a comment, something, Facebook page we have. Go to our website, hit us up on our email, something, send us a DM, anything. Give us something that you guys want to hear us talk about. What's something that you guys have had an argument with your friends in your inner circle? Something you guys debated about? Something that you think is something that's hot right now that we've missed that we should be talking about? Something that we want to get more feedback from the listeners. Something I really do. I know that they're there.
Disagree about.
Yeah, exactly. So please connect with us so we can connect with you guys a little more. That's very important to us. This is all about your guys' entertainment at the end of the day.
Also, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, even if you don't follow or watch the videos. I mean, it's funny to see what we're doing, but we could definitely appreciate some YouTube subscribers because the more subscribers we get, the more live feeds we can do, the more events we can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything does work full circle. So yeah, please, if you help us, or even if you listen to us and you think that we're funny, you think that we're good, please share us out to other people. It really helps. That one hit of that share button, that one tap goes a long way. Even if you send it to one person here and there, it helps us out so much, and we really, truly appreciate it.
Cool as shit. We love you all. You want to take it away this time?
Thanks for the likes, listens, shares, and follows, everybody.
We appreciate it. Hell yeah. Have a happy new year.